So you're going to take your idea and you're going to talk to some investors, and someone's going to say, I think that's a crappy idea, or I don't want to do it, or I don't think it's a good, and I'm just telling you, when I started my DJ business years ago, I remember going to, there's a local country club whose name I shall not mention. And I went there and I was all dressed up and I had my presentation and I went and I presented to the lady, and she said the most mean, horrible things to me. She says, I really don't think it's ever going to work. One guy, I guess he confused this Minnesota where I'm from with Michigan. But the owner of this hotel, he's like, we don't let any Spartans DJ here. I'm like, Spartans? What's he talking about? I think he meant Golden Gophers or something, but he got that confused. I remember I got one letter from one of the hotels, and she had said to me, she goes, the only thing I enjoyed about your presentation was when you left. And I'm just like, man, I mean, who does that kind of stuff? But that's the child of my soul, and I'm not going to lose. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So in your life, how can you take that mentality and put it into action when you think about your business plan right now, your business idea?
Well, move some of my passion for the idea that's there, but move it towards the achievement of it. I mean, be more passionate. If something is, if there's a building block, then treat it like a child, or take that passion and say, no. I mean, I will, if I need funding, go get funding.
Yeah. You have to have that white hot, intense, passionate belief in your business. Just like the love you have for your kids, you've got to have that same love for your business. If you do, you're going to win. Now let's move on to the second idea. Burn the boats to take the island. Can you read this quote here from Elon Musk, my friend?
People tend to overweight risk on a personal level. It's one thing if you've got a mortgage to pay and kids to support, so that if you were to deviate from the job, well, how are you going to feed your family and pay the rent? That's understandable. But let's say you're young and you're just coming out of college. What are the risks? You're not going to starve. Certainly not in any kind of modern economy. It's so easy to earn enough money just to live somewhere and eat food. Very easy to do. So I don't know what they're afraid of. Mostly afraid of failure, I think. But people should be less risk averse when there's not much risk at all.
Now think about that for a second. Elon Musk, he started, and he's an immigrant. So first he came over here, but he helped co-found PayPal. He started Tesla. He started SpaceX. He started Solar City. We go on and on. He is certifiably a genius. He's a billionaire. But as it relates to you and anybody else watching this, you have this idea here that we have to burn the boats, right? So we have to burn the boats to take the island. Burn the boats to take the island. So I want to walk you through this so you can see this and kind of get a visual on this, okay? In your unique situation, I'm not going to ask you all the financial circumstances, but over here is like a house, and I'm going to say this is a mortgage, okay? So right here, for this person, this is how much risk they have. This is the riskometer, right? And let's say that a young person, coming right out of college or high school or something, their riskometer, they just have to feed themselves. They have to eat, right? And their risk is like right here. In both scenarios, if both people don't burn the boats, they will not take the island. So what does this mean? If you have an island out here, let's just say this is our island, and this got a little palm tree here. Okay, so this is our island, and let's say that you've got. Napoleon Hill tells a story about this, but let's say in one of his books, Think and Grow Rich, he shares this story. But let's say this is the island; it's out there, and this island has 100 men on it. Back in one of Napoleon Hill's books, Think and Grow Rich, he talks about this. But this island had apparently just hundreds and hundreds of warriors that were on this island, and the enemy wanted to take the island. So what they did is they said, hey, we're in this boat here, and we're going to take this boat, and we're going to go ahead and sail in to shore. So they sail into shore. Once they dock into shore, the boat's on the shore, it's there, and the guy who's the head of the team here, he says, hey guys, what I want you to do, now remember, there's probably like 20 guys in this boat. There's 100 dudes on the island. So the guy who's in charge of the boat, the captain, tells his guys, he says, guys, we have to set the boats on fire. And they're like, well, why? And he says, oh, let's do it. So his people are, diligent. They follow the rules and they follow. So they, set the boat on fire and they're like, oh, this boat, this is a pretty, okay. And they, go to the boss and they say, hey, man, the boat's on fire. What was the plan there? And he says, well, hey, now that we've burned the boats, we can't retreat. So we have to win.